Well,
What were you expecting?
I was pretty skeptical on it, maybe the most skeptical. The money was the real problem. Once I figured out how to pay for it, wasn't a big deal. After that, I was ready to pull the trigger, because if I didn't go, I would always be like, well, what if, and kicking myself for another year or however long it'd be before there's another one. I just wanted to see how it would go and see where I could be, and now I know that, and it's definitely worth it.
When did you make the decision to? Because you were accepted, and then you. I was curious about this, just like honestly, as a straight up question. When were you decided, like, after Vinny and Ice were talking to you about, or Vinny and DJ were talking about stuff, that you bought like the tickets just in preparation of if I contact you?
I think,
like at that moment, were you like, I want in, I'll do whatever it takes? Or like,
I think
what?
when I emailed you and asked, hey, if anybody drops out, that's the point when I figured out how to pay for it. So after that, I was still kind of wishy-washy about it, wasn't 100% sold, and then we talked on the phone a little bit, and I was like, all right, let's pull the trigger on it and just go for it.
Were you still skeptical after a phone call?
I was pretty much skeptical up until getting here, and until probably going out the first night a little bit.
When did the nail drop or penny drop? When did it like finally click and you're like, fuck, this is a good thing?
Just started having some success in field, things where I was doing stuff I'd never done before, and wasn't that bad. Like all these fears I had, non-existent. Why was I worrying about that stuff?
And then what happened in field? Because you said all this stuff happened in field.
I just
What was the coolest stuff that happened?
Just being able to approach a set. That's something I had not done until 2 weeks before coming out here. I finally got the nerve to approach a set of girls. So I did that before coming out here, and that was when I knew I was coming, everything was squared away. So I was like really pushing myself before coming out here to try to do some of this stuff, and that was really hard for me. And now I've done more of those than I can count. It's like I'm going to go back home and set. Doesn't matter.
And did you get phone numbers?
Yeah.
How
Good
many?
stuff.
Tell me about it.
2 numbers. Doesn't look like they're going to answer back, but I don't care.
But the numbers you said you went from. Did you ever get a phone number before ever out of a bar or club?
A couple times. That's something I still got to work on, just getting like a solid number closed where they're going to respond back.
Okay. But do you feel like you have the tools now to work towards that goal?
I have a lot more tools than I had before. For me, approaching was the biggest problem, just opening my mouth and going up there and saying something. And like that chart we were talking about, that was a big breakthrough for me, because it showed there's so many positives to go approach, and there's really no negatives. The only negative is if you don't approach. And that's something I had been doing for a long time. Just, I'd see a pretty girl I want to talk to, get all up thinking about it, and not even go for it, kick myself for days, weeks after that, and just regret it. So now I'm approaching.